And given that these are manageable, I guess, in a sense, and you said seeing a psychologist or a counselor is recommended, what happens if someone doesn't seek those supports?
What we've experienced at SADAG, and a lot of people will probably concur, is that if depression, for instance, if left untreated, just seems to deteriorate the person more and more and more. And it's like they're falling into a black hole. They're going deeper and deeper into the space. They feel more isolated, more alone. And especially since we're working a lot with panic over this month and trying to educate people on panic disorders, the stress could become so hyped within a person that they experience panic attacks, maybe even on a daily basis. They tend to withdraw from friends and family. They don't want to go out anymore in case they experience a panic attack. So if not tended by a professional, it very often could get worse and in the worst case lead to suicide.
Given how high the stakes are if something isn't managed or isn't treated, in the sense of seeing a physician, why aren't people seeking out the supports they need?
I think stigma plays a big role in that question. People are afraid to be seen as crazy, or and men tend to say to us very often they don't want to be seen as weak. They can't provide for their family. They don't want to be seen as less than. And the stigma is huge. People think that by admitting to having depression or bipolar and all of those things, that people are going to judge them. It could affect their job, their work. So if they get diagnosed as having a mental health disorder, many people are terrified that they could lose their job. So the stigma is something that we need to educate people on, because a mental health disorder is just like any illness, and obviously, as we said, manageable.
How do you combat stigma then? Is it just the education
Education, just what we're doing here today. And the most important thing, I think, is for people to learn and understand. So if a friend or a family member says, I have been diagnosed with X, Y, and Z, well, what does that mean? Let me go look it up. Let me go with them to a support group meeting. Let me speak to other patients, more importantly, family members and friends who are going through the same thing. We tend to often only focus on the person who is suffering from the disorder, and we forget about the husband, the wife, the kids, the family, who need to understand as well. So it's all about what we call psychoeducation, learning more.